Hello to all of Nadiya Shah's fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. My name is Ryan Hunt, an astrologer and coach, and thank you so much for having me back on this incredible channel. I am truly honored to share this space again and am grateful to Nadiya for welcoming me into this community. If you're enjoying this content, I encourage you to subscribe to Nadiya's channel so you never miss these powerful cosmic updates. And if you'd like more insights into the lunar energies unfolding this month, you can also explore my channel, Astrology by Ryan, all one word, here on YouTube and linked in the description below, where I go deeper into the emotional rhythms and astrological patterns we're all moving through. Now let's get into this moment, what it is asking of us and how we can navigate it with clarity, compassion, and intention. We're strapping in for a big one, a total lunar eclipse swimming in the murky, emotionally questionable waters of Pisces. Picture the great stage lights dimming, finally letting you glimpse what glows in the dark of your own heart. And just to make things interesting, old man Saturn, the sky's bouncer, enforcing a strict cry limit, is hanging out right next door. He's not here for fun. He's here to check IDs, give shape to your feelings, whether you want it or not. He's in a last call kind of mood, standing at the very edge of this zodiac sign, making darn sure every lesson is learned before he steps into new territory. This is his final piercing look into the watery reaches of your soul. So what is on the agenda for today's strange trip? First, we'll trace the moon's very dramatic, slightly unhinged journey to get here. A 2-week road trip through the wilds of your inner world. Then we'll huddle close with the main event, this moody, meaningful eclipse, and what it truly demands. And finally, look at where we go once the stardust settles and we're left to sweep up our own messes, molding what we've learned into something real and solid. Before we plunge into the lunar abyss, a few things. If you're feeling the weight of this moment, drop your eclipse mood into the comments. Ever felt personally victimized by one of Saturn's reality checks? Then hit that subscribe button right now, and if you're ready to let go of something, even if it's just your sanity for a bit, go ahead and smash that like button. It helps this channel, and it probably smooths out your emotional karma too. I also have some useful magic over on my website, also linked below, for when you need a little extra wisdom to steer through these shifting tides, like my latest relationship quick reference for synastry astrology. Find out if your relationship has sizzle. Check for the link in the description below. All right. For those new to the way I run through the lunations, I work through the full cycle of the moon starting 2 weeks ago, where she's been, how does she feel now, and what do we have in store for the road ahead? Let's go ahead and get into it. To grasp where we stand now, we must first trace the obstacle-laden road we just traveled. And let me tell you, these last 2 weeks, they've been a trip. Our inner moon has been on a spiritual trek through a strange swamp, down a deserted highway, and even crash danced a party thrown by the underworld. She is not arriving at this eclipse fresh-faced and rested. Oh no, she has tails, and frankly, she's a little frayed around the edges. It all started with the new moon in Virgo. Practical, tidy. Imagine your inner accountant making lists, checking them twice, then finding 5 new things to fret over, possibly the perfect order of your sock drawer. The moon began her journey by getting dunked into the south node. Let's call this a baptism in dirt, a necessary burial before any rebirth, where old, stiff plans are laid to rest. She was told to let go of neat little boxes, perfect schedules, and to fully surrender to the messy, fertile soil of what truly is. It's the feeling of trying to sort a pile of wet leaves. Sometimes you just have to greet the beautiful chaos. The universe, in its odd way, reminded us that some old ways of thinking or doing, especially daily habits, health routines, and work, simply need composting. This was a true surrender of how you usually arrange your world, often marked by a quiet, nagging sense that old paths no longer fit. Then she, our lovely moon, drifted into Libra, and who awaited her there? Mars. Now, Mars in Libra is no happy warrior. He plays the passive-aggressive roommate, leaving scathing notes on the fridge about a butter ditch, or perhaps the entire international trade agreement. He's less about bold, straight action and more about a kind of justice that smells of scorekeeping, focused more on who's right than what's fair. The moon's meetup with him brought a tense, low hum of irritation. This was the raw nerve of misread texts, of nations carving lines in the sand and calling it peace talks, all while quietly grumbling about tariffs on digital services. This felt like arguments where both sides felt totally wronged, yet neither knew why. You see, when a federal judge throws out a lawsuit over a deportation case, leaving everyone lost about the true rules of play. Partnerships become less a smooth dance and more a clumsy stumble over Legos in a dark room. A low-grade conflict hummed, a sense of heavy imbalance in how we linked with others and moved through shared rooms. After that charming meetup, she had been walking the Via Combusta, the burnt road. This strange back alley sits at Libra's tail end and Scorpio's start. It's where your emotional pockets get picked, where hidden things pop out with a sudden, sharp flash, often a bit too late. This intense spot makes you face truths you'd rather not. The moon felt her power ebb here, a humbling act, a stripping away of false views before the next stage. It was a stark wake-up call to what's been hiding, gearing us up for true, perhaps tough, changes. This is where you finally clock what's really been going on. But then, a breath. She rolled into Sagittarius. This was a clean, well-lit gas station on a nightmare road trip. Jupiter, the kind ruler of Sagittarius, was happily kicking back in Cancer, his favorite 5-star resort. So even though the moon stood solo in Sagittarius, she caught a friendly, supportive wave from her mighty friend across the zodiac. A moment to truly catch your breath, to recall what hope tastes like, to briefly eye the chance for long journeys and higher callings. Yes, you still had to get back in the car with the weird roommate and that burnt toast smell, but this was a fleeting taste of spiritual plenty before the real climb. A pause to recall the wide sky beyond the small squabbles and the low hum of anxiety. Next stop, Capricorn, hosted by Saturn. This was no party. This was a long, quiet march through a rocky, barren land where the only tunes were the wind and your own dread about due dates. The air felt grim, wary, thick with duty. That scrap with Mars still stung, and Capricorn is Mars's power spot. his home field for hardship and strict rules. This was a time to stare down stark reality, to just put one foot in front of the other, even when your boots felt like lead. It carried the weight of public health alarms, of dire medicine shortages, of knowing that sometimes you just work with what you hold, even if what you hold feels far too little. This house of might and standing showed how real-world limits shape our public face and our push to win. It proved a test of grit, a hard look at the ground we built, and maybe a quiet fear. It wasn't stout enough. And then, just as she planned to leave the Saturn-ruled signs, she met Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is no planet you simply meet. Pluto is the shadowy form of the end of a long, dark hall holding a single heavy key. He's the raw might that grasps death at life's gate, that sees wrecking as the first step of rebuilding. In Aquarius, this means a wide-scale, system-wide reset. We spot it on whistleblower reports that pull back the veil on rot in institutions, or in the weird, unsettling bloom of AI that apes the deadbolts that promise link-ups but raise loud alarms about mining grief. The moon, already far along her trek, stood nose to nose with this raw, altering might, this lord of the underworld who cries for a tally, a full reordering, and she shifted. You shifted. This was no soft change. This was a core, body deep reset, a stark meeting with endings and the chilling empty space right after. A full new order for shared patterns, leaving you feeling wholly changed. And that brings us to now. The moon lands in Pisces for the full moon. She is worn. She's been through the mill. She's seen sights. She's argued with grumpy Mars, walked the scorched road, and had her very soul reset by Pluto. She is no bright, shiny, happy full moon. She is a knowing, tired, new-made moon, poised at the brink of breaking out, ready to shed the skin of what once was. This is no mere full moon. This is a total lunar eclipse. Earth's shadow will creep over her, painting a rich blood red. Eclipses hide bits to show other bits. They are flashes of light that arrive through gloom, slicing through the fog to show you what truly sits there. The moon lines up with the North Node, the point of fate, of taking in, of where we march. This is a breakout. We're being tugged from that earthen grave of 2 weeks past, blinking in the odd new light, set to finally breathe and mark a fresh path. But she's not alone. Saturn is right there with her in Pisces, stern and unbending, and not just there. He's at the anaretic degree, the very last, most piercing point of the zodiac sign, and he's moving backwards. This means he's not doing a final sweep, a last gasp push to knot up loose ends. He is doing a final sweep, and to look over all that's been and make sure the lessons truly stuck. He stands as a grumpy construction foreman, checking every last brick is laid just right before the project gets its stamp, a steady, stern presence. Picture the moon as a wild, feeling-filled poet bursting with dreams and perhaps a bit too much wine, prone to drifting in the fog. Now, see Saturn as a grim, grizzled old fisherman perched on the docks mending his nets in silence. His hands rough from years of real work. He's not here for the verse, he's here to give shape to the shapeless. He's here for the hard work of building something lasting, something tough, even if it's wrought from tears, sweat, and wisdom hard won. The moon, worn and moldable, does not fight him. She lets him work. Saturn grabs all that wild, watery Piscean dream stuff, all the grief, all the hope, the jumble, the feeling fellows, the urge to flee, and he gives it a hold. He builds a boat from your tears. He mends the nets of your dreams so they can actually grasp something real when you cast them into life's wide ocean, rather than letting all slip through. This is a stark moment of raw feeling. What did the hard roads of the past 2 weeks teach you? Where did the squeeze mold you into something stronger, more lasting? This eclipse asks for full surrender. It bids us take up limits not as a hurt, but as a gift that marks and builds us. From fences, give our lives form. Without them, we're just a puddle on the floor, drying into thin air. This is the core feel of this eclipse. Compassion through structure. We see this theme play out all around us. Nations try to mark lines and hold rules, grumbling about quitting world deals to keep power. Think of the Reform Party in the UK leaving the European Convention on Human Rights to hold migrants. We see folks wrestling with the harsh bounds of their own health, learning what their bodies can and cannot do. From Bruce Willis's fight with his brain to the cholera outbreak in Chad, where sick aid runs short, we see bonds needing clear agreements to last, be it between lovers or between lands signing defense deals, such as Canada and Poland or the US seeking safety promises to help halt the war in Ukraine. The world feels like a wild mess because old forms are falling apart, melting into the Pisces mist. Saturn in Pisces, especially in this last backwards shove, asks us, what fresh, kinder forms can we raise? What frames can truly hold our shared humanness, even when all feels like it's melting into a vast, shapeless sea? It starts within. It starts with holding fellow feeling for your own wariness, for your own bounds. You simply build a stout boat. You need not ferry the whole ocean. This is the will we set to shape strong forms for our rawest feelings, to give them edge and aim. This is a deed of true loving kindness towards ourselves, seeing our real reach and fences, then building the ways that back that truth in a world that often asks we turn our backs on them. After her stark meetup with Saturn, the moon isn't done her path over the next 2 weeks. From now until the next lunation is about weaving this new shaped wisdom into the world, helping us bring the wild craft of being human into daily use. This is where big ideas get real and lessons turn into tools. First, she rolls into Aries and bumps into Neptune. This is tricky. The moon now brims with grim Saturnian will, and Neptune is the planet of mist, mirages, and deep urges, or blind faith. This blend can feel like a fevered spirit dream. It's the drive for right action that might rest on a total mix-up or a tragic mishap. flashed in the news. We watch this on the world stage all the time. Fights fed by tales that may or may not hold true. Chiefs act on visions that feel God-sent but could be mere hope or outright lies. Picture Australia tossing out Iran's ambassador over claims Tehran says are false, where what's seen fights what's said. Watch what you hold as truth. Most of all, what you wish to be true. Your sure sense could be a blur, pulling you down a wrong road. The prize here is to use that Aryan flame to burn through your own mirages, not another's, stepping with the true fire of self-search and clear sight. Next, she will move into Taurus. And oh, what a sigh of ease and relief. Wow. The moon finds her strength here. This moment is coming home after life's hardest trek, and someone hands you a warm blanket, a bowl of your best soup. No questions, just raw, firm comfort. This is a time to root yourself, to link with your body, to call to mind the plain, touchable good of being alive. The bite of good food, the feel of soft cloth, the still hum of steady ground. The worn moon can finally rest and give from a spot of true fullness, not forced duty. This is when you can work your garden, cook a good meal, and give real hands-on aid to others. It's a strong nudge that steady ground in a wild world holds a magic of its own, a rich spring of still peace. This is where your own wealth, your pay, and your food find firm, sure footing. This is the plain joy of being here in body, of safe holdings, of real taste of fellow gladness. Next, she steps into Gemini and hooks up with Uranus. Uranus is the lightning bolt, the sudden story twist, the odd trickster of the planets. In Gemini, the zodiac sign of talk and tidings, this brings the shock phone call, the strange email, the sudden bright thought that flips all you knew on its head. Thanks to the work you've put in, letting go, the shaping, the rooting, you are ripe for this flash of insight. This is a strong change that feels like a snap, a shot of pure light, but you earned it through your trek. It's the instant you spot a wholly new road where before stood only a wall, a fresh view handed to you in a blink. Call it finding a priceless, looted artwork in a random Argentinian house 80 years after its theft. The universe holds a strange but fair sense of fun. This house of news and first lessons is suddenly hit with wild, unlooked-for genius. At long last, she pulls back home to Cancer, where Jupiter awaits her. This is the holy joining, the Heros Gamos of the old moon and the kind Jupiter. But this is not the giggling, clumsy love of teenagers. This is a grown love, built on shared roads and true knowing. The moon now stands as the crone, the wise old one full of sense earned through hardship and tides beyond count. Jupiter plays the kind king, wide and full of grace, giving shelter and plenty. Their meetup sparks a true, heartfelt fire, a nudge that joy and wisdom can and should live as one. A still power that fills the home. It's the soft strength of knowing you've lasted, you've grown, and you can at last truly lean into that truth. perhaps even sharing news of a ring after sailing life's storms. This house of hearth and kin is now filled with wide, tending wisdom, a rich pool of still peace for your feelings. After that, she jigs through Leo, meeting Venus, the queen of bliss and grace. This is a last glad burst of bold self. Show a point to truly glow before the next big loop starts. The knowing moon passes her secrets to the bright Venus, crone to maiden, setting her up for the fresh starts that wait just ahead in Virgo. This house of good luck and craft bathes in an older, richer kind of ease, a sure delight in simply being. So what do we make of all this? How do we steer through this strange, soupy weather? It's this eclipse with its hefty Saturnian pull asks for a still kind of guts. The guts to sit with what is, even when it chafes. The guts to own your worn, to hold your bounds free of shame. The guts to raise a fence and fiercely guard it, to shape a frame that truly props up your health and ease. The world rings loud right now. Open fights and hidden wars brew. Chiefs make bold claims about trade and rules, and systems bend under huge stress. We see cries for fairness that feel less like real give and take and more like Mars in Libra. All about squabble and win, not true peace. We spot the Pisces mist of bad facts and Aries urge to act on it without thought, leading to sad slips. We find Saturnian truth of scant goods, sharp needs, and the hard edge of what can be. From world talks falling apart to the smallest personal health battle, the call for clear forms is all around. We even question the maps we use to grasp our world, pushing for a truer look at Africa's size, showing a wider, fresh check of our shared truth. The whole group needs a frame for fellow feeling, a way to hold its pain without melting apart. This is no time for grand, brave deeds. Not yet. This is a time for fellow feeling. And fellow feeling isn't just being kind or sending warm thoughts. It's the power to sit with pain, your own and others, without the need to fix it or flee it or be eaten by it. It's the might to stay in the dark and not fear, to mark the heavy load without giving in. It's the knowing to spot what is yours to bear and what is not. It's about building a holder for all those swirling feels so you can grasp them without being washed out by the heart's pull, so you can give a real aid from a place of firm steadiness. Saturn, mostly at this last backwards point of Pisces, hands you the tools to build a holder for your own heart. A boat. He makes sure you have all the parts for a craft that can brave the heart's tides. A craft stout enough for true loving kindness. So you can feel the world's pain without sinking in it. So you can spot the world's jumble without losing your own clear sight. So you can note the fights of asylum seekers or the truth behind a mushroom poisoning or the real stretch of Africa without feeling smashed by the weight of it all. This stretch of time is a true call to work on your will, setting a straight path for how you wish to go, how you wish to go forth, even through the swirling mist with aim and tough spirit. Your work over these next 2 weeks is to find that structure. Maybe it's a morning routine you can't skip, one that gives you a sense of anchor, a small isle of peace in your day. Maybe it's at last saying no to something that has bled you dry for months, a leaky hole in your soul boat. Maybe it's just turning off the news, putting on some tunes, and letting yourself simply be in the still space this eclipse sets out, mending your spirit. Whatever it is that is your boat in this wide, wild, goodly ocean, this is your moment to be the calm fisher of your own soul, mending your nets with clear will, heeding the weather and waiting with good heart for the tide to shift. It will. It always does. Until next time, keep your eye on the sky and make a wish upon a star. All right, now we are going to step into the horoscopes for this month, starting with Aries. These are for the rising signs, but if you don't know your rising sign, you can follow along with your sun sign. First, we have Aries rising. This full moon illuminates your subconscious and the hidden realms, potentially bringing a culmination or profound realization within your inner world. With the moon in the 12th house, you may feel a heightened sensitivity, an urge to withdraw, or a strong pull towards spiritual introspection. The polarity between your Pisces moon in the 12th house and your Virgo sun in the 6th house highlights a tension between surrendering to the flow and attending to the practical demands of daily life. Neptune, also in Pisces, in your 1st house of self, heightens your intuition, blending your sense of identity with the ethereal currents of this lunation. This may bring a profound sense of spiritual awakening or a need for self-compassion. Your Virgo sun in the 6th, however, insists on attention to detail and daily well-being, creating a push and pull between introspection and the mundane responsibilities of your health and work. Mercury in Virgo in the 6th offers clarity through focused thought and practical communication concerning your routines. Venus in Leo in your 5th house may spark creative joy for matters of romance and self-expression. Yet its intensity might feel slightly at odds with the introspective mood. Mars in Libra in the 7th house brings relationship dynamics to the forefront, potentially highlighting how your actions impact partnerships or vice versa. This full moon asks you to embrace paradox, to honor the unseen, and acknowledge the subtle wisdom of your inner life. It's natural to feel a blend of surrender and a simultaneous urge for control. You may be releasing old emotional patterns or secrets. Trust your intuition, even if it feels unclear or confusing. A culmination in your hidden life is asking for acknowledgement. What unspoken feelings are ready to surface and be witnessed? How can you integrate your spiritual needs with your daily responsibilities? What wisdom lies in letting go? This lunation offers a potent opportunity for inner healing and the integration of your spiritual identity with your day-to-day existence. Embrace emotional honesty and allow what needs to be released to truly flow freely. Stay aligned with what matters to you. And Taurus rising. The full moon in Pisces lands in the 11th house. And this full moon illuminates your sector of friendships, long-term aspirations, and group affiliations, bringing a powerful culmination that reveals what truly serves your highest hopes and what might be dissolving. There's a palpable tension between your emotional connection to the collective, represented by the moon, and your personal desire for joyful expression and creative fulfillment, highlighted by the sun in your 5th house of Virgo. This lunation in Pisces brings a surge of emotional sensitivity to your social sphere. You might experience a profound realization about a friendship, a group project, or a long-held dream. With Saturn co-present, this isn't just a fleeting feeling, it's a structural clarification. What needs to be released are unrealistic expectations or connections that no longer align with your authentic self. The invitation is to integrate deep compassion with clear boundaries for your future visions. With Mercury also in Virgo in your 5th house, your thoughts and communications are precise and analytical regarding your passions, children, or creative projects. This intellectual clarity provides a critical counterpoint to the Pisces moon's emotional depth. Venus in Leo in your 4th house infuses your home life and foundational security with a warmth and a desire for recognition, drawing you towards comfort and family. Meanwhile, Mars in Libra in your 6th house might bring a focus to balancing your daily routines, work duties, or health with a strong desire for fairness and harmony. Jupiter in Cancer in your 3rd house expands your local connections and communications, offering nurturing growth in your immediate environment. Pluto in Aquarius in your 10th house signifies deep transformative shifts in your career and public standing, urging you to redefine your ambition and power in the world. It's normal to feel a pull between your personal joy and your collective responsibilities right now. Allow yourself to witness what surfaces in your social circle without immediate judgment. This is a potent time for clarifying which dreams genuinely belong to you. What long-term aspirations are truly aligned with your heart? Where do you need to establish clearer boundaries within your friendships or groups? How can you balance your need for personal creative expression with your desire to contribute to a larger community? This full moon invites you to bring conscious awareness to your hopes, dreams, and the communities you engage with. Stay emotionally honest about what truly fulfills you and what needs to be gracefully released. The path forward involves both dreaming big and grounding those dreams in practical, compassionate action. Gemini rising for you, Gemini rising. This full moon powerfully illuminates your 10th house of career, public standing, and life direction. Themes of achievement and reputation intensify. The sun in Virgo in your 4th house creates a polarity between private foundations and public identity, demanding balance. This lunar culmination brings realization or confrontation regarding your professional life or public role. Emotions surrounding ambition and purpose are illuminated. The tension between personal, home-centered needs and external aspirations is palpable. urging release of inauthentic portrayals or intention of private truths into your public identity. Mercury in your fourth sharpens thoughts on home. Venus in your third adds warmth to relationships. Mars in your fifth balances creative actions. Jupiter in your second boosts resources. Pluto in your ninth brings transformation in beliefs. Saturn's conjunction with the moon in your 10th demands realism and structure in public life, tempering Neptune's idealism in your 11th. Uranus in your first sparks liberating personal shifts. It's natural to feel a pull between personal and professional aspirations. Feeling responsibility is necessary. Trust that revealing your authentic self, even in public, leads to greater fulfillment. What aspects of your public persona feel misaligned? How can you honor emotional needs while pursuing ambitions and supporting both public and private life? This full moon invites you to integrate emotional truths with outward achievements, calling for an honest assessment of your life's direction. Witness these revelations mindfully. Stay true to your emotional landscape, aligning your public path with your authentic core. Cancer rising. This illuminating full moon intensifies your quest for meaning and truth, bringing revelations about your philosophies, beliefs, and spiritual path. It creates a powerful polarity with the practical insights emerging from your third house of daily communication and immediate environment. With the full moon shining in your 9th house, Cancer rising, you may experience powerful culmination or emotional reckoning concerning your deepest convictions, educational pursuits, or far-reaching aspirations. This spotlight on your broader vision stands in direct tension with the sun in your 3rd house, highlighting the gap between your everyday realities and your spiritual ideals. It's a time to release any rigid thinking or illusions that prevent you from embracing a more expansive truth. Your ruling planet, Jupiter, in your 1st house, amplifies your personal sense of purpose and resilience, offering a compassionate guide through this unfolding. Saturn, co-present with the moon in Pisces, asks you to bring structure and accountability to your spiritual beliefs or long-distance plans, challenging you to ground your dreams in reality. Meanwhile, Mercury in your 3rd house pushes for clear, precise communication, helping you articulate the profound insights emerging and integrate them into your daily interactions. It's normal to feel a tension between what you believe and what you communicate in your daily life. Profound realizations about your path may be surfacing now, requiring you to redefine your personal truths. This period offers a potent opportunity to align your inner wisdom with your outward expression. What core beliefs are now asking for a renewed commitment or a gentle release? How can you bring more honesty and clarity to your daily conversations, reflecting your evolving understanding? What grand vision for your future is now ready to take a more concrete form? This full moon invites you to integrate your expansive spiritual ideals with your tangible daily life. Witness the revelations with an open heart. Speak your truth with gentle honesty and align your everyday actions with the profound wisdom that is now illuminated within you. Leo rising. Yes, this full moon powerfully illuminates your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, and transformation. It brings to culmination emotional matters concerning what you owe or what is owed, other people's money, or the hidden dynamics of shared power. This creates polarity with the sun in your 2nd house of personal finances and self-worth, pushing you to balance independence with interdependency. This lunar culmination in Pisces in your 8th house suggests emotional realization or release concerning joint ventures, debts, or psychological patterns. The tension between the moon's deep emotional currents and the sun's focus on tangible security highlights how your personal values intertwine with others. You might need to let go of old attachments or confront a truth to reclaim personal power. With Venus in your 1st house in Leo, personal desires and self-expressions are foregrounded. Mercury in your 2nd house brings clarity to financial discussions. Saturn, also in Pisces in the 8th, demands a disciplined approach to shared responsibilities and emotional dependencies, calling for a sober look at commitments. Mars in Libra in your 3rd could stir urgent conversations with siblings or in your daily environment, urging for resolution. It's normal to feel an overwhelming need for emotional release or a shift in your perception of control. Allowing vulnerability can be a powerful act of strength. Deep transformations often require letting go of what once felt secure. What shared resources or emotional debts are you ready to release? How can you honor your personal values while navigating deep connections? What hidden truths are now ready to be brought into the light for healing? This full moon invites profound emotional honesty to transform how you engage with shared power and intimacy. Mindfully witness these shifts to align with a more authentic sense of security and freedom. And Virgo rising. This full moon in Pisces shines a bright, ethereal light on your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and open encounters with others. For you, Virgo rising, this lunation brings a powerful culmination or realization regarding your closest bonds. With the sun representing your conscious identity firmly in your 1st house, this period highlights a crucial polarity between your personal needs and the needs of others. It's a time to truly see yourself in relation to those you share your life with. The full moon's illumination demands that you confront the emotional landscape of your partnerships. This might involve a culmination of ongoing relationship dynamics or a poignant moment of clarity regarding your shared dreams and boundaries. With the moon joined by Saturn in Pisces in this house, there's a strong emphasis on the structures, commitments, and realities of your significant connections. What needs to be released is any illusion or idealization that no longer serves the true health of your relationships. Mercury in Virgo in your 1st house encourages you to articulate your needs with clarity and precision, ensuring your voice is heard amidst the emotional currents. Mars in Libra in your 2nd house may stir up actions or prompt conversations about shared resources or personal values within your partnerships. urging you to define what is truly yours. Jupiter, the ruler of this full moon, resides in Cancer, in your 11th house, offering a benevolent influence through friendships and community, suggesting that support and growth can be found in your wider network as you navigate these intimate disclosures. Here are some reflections. The clarity emerging in your relationships might feel both tender and demanding. You are being asked to balance your individual truth with the harmony of your partnerships. This is a moment to honor the real substance of your bonds, not just their ideals. Consider these questions. What unspoken truths about your relationships are now coming into focus? How can you define healthier boundaries without sacrificing intimacy? What does true partnership mean to you now? And what are you willing to commit to? This lunation invites you to embrace emotional honesty within your closest connections. By mindfully witnessing what is revealed and aligning with genuine commitment, you can build foundations that are both supportive and authentically shared. And Libra rising, this full moon brings deep emotional revelations regarding your daily routines, health, and service, spotlighting how your inner world impacts your practical life. The tension between the moon in your 6th house and the sun in your 12th house urges you to bring hidden anxieties and subconscious patterns into the light of conscious daily management. This illumination culminates a cycle concerning your well-being and responsibilities, asking you to face what needs release in your daily habits or work. The emotional spotlight is on your capacity for service, your physical health, and the structure of your mundane life. You're called to balance the subtle, perhaps hidden challenges of your inner world with the visible demands of your everyday existence, seeking greater harmony. With Mars in your 1st house, there's an active push to define your personal boundaries and assert your need for fairness, especially as you navigate daily tasks. Your chart ruler, Venus, bright in the 11th house of alliances, suggests that friends or group affiliations may offer clarity or support. Jupiter in your 10th house, ruler of this full moon, promises growth and recognition in your public life and career, particularly if you lead with compassion. Saturn, co-present with the moon in the 6th house, firmly grounds these emotional insights, demanding realistic structures around your health and daily obligations. It's okay to feel overwhelmed by the subtle currents and practical demands converging now. Recognize that your daily choices are deeply intertwined with your deepest subconscious patterns. Allow yourself to witness the culmination of efforts in your routines and health practices. What daily habits or health concern is asking for your compassionate attention? How might acknowledging a hidden pattern liberate your energy for service? What practical steps can you take to integrate your emotional truths into your daily life? This full moon invites you to find harmony between your inner world and outer responsibilities. By honestly assessing your daily life and health, you can release what no longer serves you, establishing routines that genuinely support your well-being and deepest sense of self. Scorpio rising, this full moon illuminates your fifth house of pleasure, creativity, and self-expression. Emotions may run high as you navigate these realms. The Virgo sun in your 11th house highlights a tension between your need for community and the spotlight on your personal creative projects. The full moon in Pisces brings culmination to a creative endeavor or a deepening understanding of your relationship with joy. This lunation invites you to balance the need for fantasy with grounded action. What dreams can you bring into being? What practical steps honor your soul's longings? Venus in your 10th house of career suggests that your unique gifts may bring professional recognition. Mercury, also in the 11th, alongside the Sun, offers clarity regarding your aspirations and social connections. Mars in the 12th house of self-undoing could stir up unconscious anxieties, urging you to bravely confront them. Conjunct the Moon, Saturn asks you to bring discipline to your creative work, perhaps solidifying a commitment to a passion project. Neptune, in the 6th, may blur boundaries between inspiration and illusion in your daily routines. Seek discernment. It's okay to feel overwhelmed by creative energy. It's normal to crave both freedom and structure. It's human to sometimes confuse fantasy with reality. What boundaries do you need to set to protect your creative space? What small practical steps can you take towards realizing your artistic vision? How can you find joy in discipline? This full moon is a turning point, Scorpio rising, offering a chance to integrate your dreams with your responsibilities. Witness your emotions honestly and stay aligned with your deepest passions. Sagittarius rising. As you may know, this is my rising sign, so I have a strong affinity for what goes on here with Sagittarius rising, and this full moon eliminates your deeply personal world, Sagittarius, bringing matters of home, family, and emotional foundations to a powerful climax. It starkly contrasts with the Sun and Mercury in your 10th house of career and public reputation, highlighting a critical tension between your private needs and your external responsibilities. This lunar culmination demands your attention inward. You may experience a powerful realization regarding your sense of belonging, your ancestral roots, or the very structure of your domestic life. With Saturn co-present, this isn't just an emotional tide, it's a moment to release old emotional patterns that no longer serve your stability or to solidify boundaries within your closest relationships. The spotlight is on integrating your private emotional truth with your desire for public acknowledgement. With your ruler Jupiter exalted in the 8th house of shared resources and transformation, deep truths about what you truly value are becoming visible, urging growth through honest, financial, and emotional introspection. Mercury in the 10th house emphasizes the clarity needed in your professional communications as your words carry weight in your public sphere. Mars in your 11th house suggests swift actions or energetic discussions within your friendships and community circles, driving you to align with groups that truly support your future aspirations. This is a potent time to honor your sensitive core. It's okay for your public ambitions to feel secondary to your private emotional world right now. You are actively restructuring your foundations for greater security. What emotional patterns or family narratives are ready to be released for your well-being? How can you better align your external ambitions with your internal sense of peace and security? Where do you need to establish stronger boundaries within your home or with family members? This full moon invites you to anchor yourself in emotional honesty and build a sanctuary from the inside out. Your deepest sense of security is your greatest asset. Capricorn rising. This full moon illuminates your third house of communication, perception, and your immediate environment, bringing a sensitive and emotionally charged culmination. Information may surface, or a long simmering conversation could finally reach its conclusion. Opposing the Sun and Mercury in your ninth house of higher beliefs, this lunation creates a tension between what you feel intuitively in your day-to-day life and the larger truths or philosophical frameworks you hold. The moon's light, joined by your ruling planet Saturn, brings a profound sense of weight and finality to your thoughts and words. This isn't a fleeting mood, it's a reality check for your mindset. You may feel the gravity of a particular decision or realize the tangible consequences of your communication patterns. The emotional tides are high, asking you to dissolve old mental constructs that no longer serve you. While Mars in your 10th house puts pressure on your public and professional life, Jupiter in your 7th house suggests that a key partner can be a source of expansive emotional support through this process. It is a time to acknowledge the weight of my thoughts and power of my words. My feelings and my logic do not have to be in perfect alignment to be valid. A necessary conversation, even if difficult, can be an act of self-respect. What narrative or belief about my daily life am I ready to release? How can I communicate my emotional truth with both compassion and clear boundaries? Where can I find softness and surrender amidst this mental restructuring? This full moon invites a powerful turning point. It is a call to take responsibility for your inner dialogue and to release the mental burdens you've carried. By honoring the emotional truth surfacing now, you clear the way for a more authentic and sustainable perspective. Aquarius rising. This full moon in your 2nd house illuminates your values, resources, and sense of security. It brings to a head matters related to self-worth and material possessions, while the Sun in Virgo in the 8th house spotlights shared resources, intimacy, and transformation. This lunation asks you to balance what you give and receive. The full moon in Pisces highlights your emotional needs and financial well-being. You may feel drawn to reassess your income or possessions. It can be a time of heightened sensitivity around your physical and emotional needs. Tension may arise between what you desire and what you truly value. Virgo in your 8th house adds clarity to shared resources and vulnerability, bringing discussions to a head. Venus in Leo in the 7th house is a shining light on your relationships, offering clarity. Mars in Libra in the 9th house may prompt action around beliefs and long-distance journeys. Meanwhile, Jupiter in Cancer in the 6th house encourages growth and expansion around daily routines and health. Pluto in Aquarius in your 1st house supports profound shifts in your self-perception. The presence of Saturn in Pisces, your 2nd house, suggests a need for boundaries in managing resources and self-worth. Neptune in Aries in your 3rd house suggests an increase in the sensitivity to your immediate environments. Here are some reflections for you. Am I feeling a surge of awareness around my values and finances? It's okay to feel vulnerable about my needs. My needs are just as important as those of others. And here's a few questions to consider and add to your reflection. What aspects of your self-worth need attention? How can you balance your needs with your responsibilities? What old beliefs about money or security are ready to be released? This full moon invites you to trust your intuition, honor your emotional truth, and align your actions with your deepest values. And Pisces rising. This full moon eclipse lands in your own sign, illuminating the very core of your identity. With the moon in your 1st house, your emotional world, physical presence, and sense of self are brought into the spotlight. This is a powerful moment of culmination and personal revelation. The sun in Virgo opposes from your 7th house of partnerships, creating a central tension between your personal needs and your relational commitments. Who are you, and who are you in relation to others? The emotional tides are high, and with Saturn also in your 1st house, this is no fleeting mood. This lunation carries weight, asking you to get serious about who you are becoming. It's a profound call to maturity, urging you to claim your emotional reality with integrity. The Sun and Mercury in your 7th house demand clarity in your one-on-one relationships. Conversations that have been brewing may now come to a head. Your ruling planet, Jupiter, offers benevolent support from your 5th house of creativity and joy, reminding you that this personal growth is deeply connected to your capacity for authentic self-expression and pleasure. It is natural to feel both emotionally exposed and intensely self-aware. The responsibility of defining yourself is a call to maturity, not a burden. Understanding your own needs allows you to show up more honestly in partnership. What truth about yourself are you finally ready to accept? How can you balance your autonomy with your commitments to others? Where are you being asked to build stronger personal boundaries? This is a turning point. You are being invited to release an old version of yourself and step into a more grounded, emotionally honest identity. Witness what arises with compassion. And now that comes to the end of the video today. Please, if you're interested in exploring your chart further and understanding how this lunation impacts with your personal birth chart, you can follow the link in the description below to my website and book a reading with me. I have appointments open on my calendar, so feel free to join me there. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram. I'm on most social media platforms at the handle Astrology by Ryan, all one word. And as I like to say, until next time, keep your eye on the sky and make a wish upon a star.